Good evening, sci-fi fans. It is I, Sir Willie Todgerson, the Junior Man. And today I have decided to do a live sort of stream thing because it is far too hot to record a video performance. So I will begin at some point now. Good evening. It is I, Willie Todgerson the Junior. Good evening, Shuffleboil. I see you have joined me today on the internet. And hello, Austin, the man with a million opinions. And Ass the Brewer, a man who makes a little beer. And also Mr. Lee Deacon has appeared. He is a man who I know from my past. And nothing more shall be said of that particular man, for he could be a demon of some description. Today, of course, are 1,000 books to behold. And I will begin with the most important book of all. It is the novelization of Golden Axe, the very important video game from the past. Now, this is a very intriguing novelization indeed, for it is written by some sort of simple man. Let me see if I can show the words on screen. Here we go. It is written as if a man was playing the video game and was just writing everything that occurred on the screen. I am trying to find an example. Can't be bothered. Let me read the back of the book, as is customary. The peaceful land of Uria has been ravaged by the soldiers of the evil Death Adder. Only Axe Battler, the barbarian man, armed with his sword Skullcrusher, can save Uria, if he can rescue the king and the princess from Death Adder's castle. The complete story of the Sega action game, packed with game-solving hints and tips, which is what you usually do find in a novelization, plus reviews of the video games. Now, I think all novelizations should include reviews of the media being novelized. Next, another book is Berserker by Fred Saberhagen. Hello, Infinite Text, it is Andrea. Should you not be driving to, America somewhere for the Pulp Fest? Anyway, Berserker featuring a mysterious front cover. Flying. You can't fly, you are a person. The back of the book is small and features the following words. No one knew where berserkers came from. Everyone knew what they had come for. They were mechanical killers, their brain a computer programmed to destroy all forms of life. And berserkers were illogical, not like a Vulcan man. The random disintegration of atoms could select any one of infinite means of destruction. Hello, Sparrow the Frog. a new viewer, probably, already planet after planet had been pounded into steam and dust. Only one kind of being could beat the Berserker, a race whose history had been spent developing more powerful weapons. A race conditioned to throw away their lives for the title Hero. The race was called Man. And that is our race, if you are not aware. And I suppose this is a drawing of a man. Very peculiar. Another book is this book here, Isle of the Dead, by Roger Zelazny, featuring a loincloth man, or Tim, who's not here. He's probably gallivanting around the American country, travelling to the far-off land of Pittsburghia. And this is also featuring a big pink skull in the background. And the back of the book is good also. There's no blurb here, this is just reviews by people. I do not want to read that. That is not very exciting at all. Here we go, there is one on the internal side of the cover. Hello, Carl Francis. I am glad you have joined us. Oh no, Tim has arrived. Pretend I did not say anything about him at all. It is centuries in the future, and Francis Sando is the only man alive who was born as long ago as the 20th century. His body is kept young and in perfect health by advanced scientific methods. He has amassed such a fortune that he can own entire planets, and he has become a god. Much like myself. No, not a god of Earth, but one of the pantheon of the alien Pians. He is Shimbo of Dark Tree, Shrugger of Thunders. Yet he doesn't believe that his personality has emerged with the ancient consciousness of Shimbo, that he really can call down the skies upon his enemies. The time comes, however, when Francis Sando must use these powers against the most dangerous antagonist in the universe. Another Pian god, Shimbo's own enemy, Belian. And Belian has no doubt whatever of his own powers. I don't know what that's about. God fighting, probably. Another book is this William Gibson book, which I found in a telephone box, which explains the dire condition of said book. It is quite crispy, and it has potentially urine stains all over it. But that is fine. We'll wash my hands. Perhaps. 2005. The future. Welcome to NoCal and SoCal, the uneasy sister states of what used to be California. Here the millennium has come and gone, leaving in its wake only stunned survivors. In Los Angeles, Barry Riddell is a former armed response rent-a-cop, now working for a bounty hunter. Chevette Washington is a bicycle messenger turned pickpocket who impulsively snatches a pair of innocent-looking sunglasses. But these are no ordinary shades. What you can see through these high-tech specs can make you rich or get you killed. Now Barry and Chevette are on the run, zeroing in on the digitalized heart of Dat America. Dat America? Where pure information is the greatest high, and a mind can be a terrible thing to crash. So it is typical William Gibson fare. Goodbye, Andrea. Have an enjoyable evening. Closing a library. Another book is this Gordon R. Dixon book. Author of Dorsai, which is a book I have never read in my life. And this one is called Survival, and features words. Good evening, Goat Frenzy. Is everyone looking forward to Wizfest? I certainly am, even though I will not be attending. Just my friend, what's his name? Sephiros, Brian, that man. He will go. You who have never faced death in an alien wilderness, or struggled desperately with a failing life support system, or in some other way stood firm against bewildering odds, can never know the true cost of survival. You can only estimate it from the lives of others by weighing their values on the great human scale. He who survives, if he acquits himself well, is a hero. He who does not survive is often a hero as well, for only a life well lived is worth the dying. And that is the message of the book. Therefore, I do not have to read it, and it may go onto one of my shelves to stay forever. Probably. Another book is another media tie-in novel. The Twilight Zone. A novelization by K.C. Winters. Chosen and The Placebo Effect. Both based on episodes of the... Was this the one in the 2000s? I do not recall. It is also a library book, which was never checked out, because the Twilight Zone is for nerds. Chosen. Vince refuses to believe when two strangers turn up at his door, telling him he is chosen. Chosen for what? But when people in his neighborhood start disappearing, Vince begins to suspect that they are not all that they seem. And the placebo effect is what now this thus follows. Words. Dr. Leslie Coburn knows she's in for a rough day when hypochondriac Harry Radich walks into her office, but then his fevered imagination creates an all-too-real plague that could wipe out mankind. Vague. Very vague. Probably fine, though, I assume. Another book is Counterfeit World by Daniel F. Galouye, author of Dark Universe, which is another book I own, but have not yet read, as hard as that may be to believe. Now this is about the pollsters reigning supreme. They have a legal right to break into your home and question you for their vital opinion polls. Doug Hall's company has developed the Total Environment Simulator, which could free the world from the pollsters' tyranny. But pollsters and politicians combine to whip up fear of it and the redundancies it will bring. Now Doug's colleagues are committing suicide or are being murdered. Then the head of security disappears before his eyes. One moment he's there. The next, nothing. Has Doug gone mad? If not, what is happening? And how can he find out? He can find out by reading the book. The text in this book is very small. Indeed! So, it goes in the small text pile over there. Here is another book by an evil scum wench, Marion Zimmer Bradley, who thankfully is now dead. But I bought this book anyway. It is a door, but not a yellow-spined door. Therefore, not as good. But it does feature a rather little advertisement for the Science Fiction Book Club, which is a book club I never did join myself because I get all the books for free, as I am a science fiction author myself. If you're not aware, that is a thing that is true. I would read the back of this. There are too many words. It's one of the Darkover books, although this is a collection of short stories by random people. So maybe not as evil as a Norman. A normal Marion Zimmer Bradley book. But possibly it is. Another book. Here is another... Oh yes. My goodness. A science fiction book club book. Speak of the Devil. It is Midworld by Alan Dean Foster. Now, I thought this book was set in Stephen King's Midworld from the Dark Tower series, but that would not make sense. I think it is just some sort of Brian Aldiss type hothouse novel or something. Midworld. There was no question of the green planet's ability to support life. Rather, it was a question of it supporting too much life. Too well. It was peaceful, arboreal, and rich. If you knew how to stay alive. There were 7 levels to the forest world, and each spawned botanical and zoological life which existed in a precarious natural balance. Mankind, the persons, preferred this 3rd level, as did the Furcuts. The 2 levels above reached to a sun-bleached green roof, blah blah blah. It's a book. Perhaps I will read it one day in the future after time has ended, which will be soon. Apologies, I'm spoiling the thing. Here is another book. It is The Kane Factor by Charles Lewis. It is J.J. has appeared in order to make a joke. But he was too late. Now, this is another science fiction book club thing. I assume. Maybe not. Apologies, I'm about to pass away. I must take a drink of my special medicine. That was pointless. Here we go. The Kane Factor. It is not Iron Brew, Austin. You madman, madman. It is pure rum. It's not Pulcho. I cannot afford Pulcho. It is the 21st century. Like reality. The world is poised on the brink of nuclear war. Just like reality. until a greater threat supervenes. Scientists discover that destruction will be by cataclysmic natural causes. Also relevant. Panic reunites the divided nations. In the short time left to man, a planet must be colonized, but the space explorers, led by the fearless Colonel Shaw, find that the only one fit for human habitation is also on the brink of destruction. That is a very unfortunate situation indeed. Its only life, a sinister self-propagating plant. Space marijuana, presumably. Strife breaks out among the demoralized crew and results in violent murder. Is humanity doomed? Yes, is the answer. End of the book. Very good indeed. Next, I have a little pile of things. It is science fiction magazines. This is an issue of Venture, which I've never heard of in my life. But it features a complete new novel by Dean R. Kuntz Z, called Beast Child, presumably about some sort of angry little boy who affects a town using his mind, although that may be something else. What else is in the book? I will try to aim this at the camera. A short story by J.W. Schutz, Larry Eisenberg, Joseph Renard, and Basil Wells. I have never heard of any of those people at all, but the cover is nice, at least. Another book featuring Sebastian Imperius on the cover, for some horrifying reason, is the August 1985 issue, which is one of the months and years in which I was born. This features advertisements. The more advertisements there are, the contents. Novelettes by Bradley Denton, Mike Connor, Paul Di Filippo, Brad Strickland, James Gunn, Robert Onupa, Robert F. Young, and Nancy Echemendy. And the usual departments featuring rubbish. Yes, very good indeed. I saw a picture there. Oh, that's an advert. Books. Never mind. Another magazine here. Yes, Tim, that is probably true. These cost me £2 each, which is quite good. This features a skull on the front of the magazine. This is the June 1986 issue, which I bought because it had a skull on the front. And I own my own skull inside my very own head, so I had to buy it, as I was reminded of my own skull. Here we go. It is featuring Judith Moffat, John Barnes, Robert F. Young, James Salas, James Patrick Kelly, Richard Mueller, Larry Tritton, John Brunner, the man who was a legend in his own time, much like John Brunner himself, and me, and Michael Bishop, who I have heard of indeed, but have not read anything. It's just words. Here we go, is another one. And these all feature the man who I am doxing accidentally. He's probably dead. Now this one is the January 1977 book. Oh, music to read SF by. Very good indeed. Here are the contents. Here, Gordon Eklund and Gregory Benford. Now I have heard of Gregory Benford indeed. In fact, there is a Fritz Leiber, the first of 2 parts, but I did not notice this when I bought the book. So, I only have the first part. But I have the story in a book anyway, so who cares? Short stories by R.A. Lafferty, Paul Darcy Boles, and Stephen Utley. And there is an advert for a video game. There. For a board game? Probably. That would make more sense, would it not? Oh! An advert for cigarettes! New Kent Golden Lights. Lower in tar than all these brands. Is this legal? Probably not. And on the back, there's a... Wait a minute. What the... I think this man's ripping me off. Don't know who that was. Here's another one. I bought many of them. It features Isaac Asimov, Joanna Russ, Kit Reed, and Michael G. Coney. And this is a January 1976 issue. I think this may be some sort of proto-bender from Futurama. Or something. Here we go. Gary K. Wolf's Dr. Rivet and Supercon Sal. And some short stories by Joanna Russ, Isaac Asimov, whoever that is, Stuart Dybek, Michael G. Kearney, Kit Reed, and Haskell Barkin. And an advert for new books for SF fans. I will do a little look through. More cigarettes. Very good. I've run out of places for my books. Here is a very scary book indeed. Featuring the very horrible art. April 1990. When I was born. This features a Thomas Ligotti story, which is why I picked this one up. For I have heard of him. The Last Feast of Harlequin. By Ligotti. And Carolyn Eves Gilman story. Short stories by Larry Tritton, Mary A. Torzillo, Wayne Whiteman, Madeline E. Robbins, and Bradley Denton. The chaff he will burn, whatever that means. Who is good? Austin, who is good? Willie Todgerson Jr.? Probably. Another one from March 1979, featuring Barry Malzberg and Thomas M. Dish, who are authors. Adverts. The best of Soviet SF. Soviet SF. There we go. Now in paperback. The Thomas M. Dish is another part 2 of 3 on Wings of Song, which is a book I own anyway. A novelette by Gary Jennings, Lee Killough, Joe Patrouch, Thomas Wilde, Ramsey Campbell, who is one of my very good chums, and The Annual Bash and Circumstance Party by Barry M. Malzberg. And does this have a cigarette advertisement? Nope, it does not. Here is another book. The February 1964 issue, which I went out and bought, especially because Chris from the Busted Shelf spoke of one of the stories in it very fondly indeed. It was, what one? One of these. It was Burning Spear by Kit Denton, and I have still not read it. But this also features a Ron Goulart story called Nobody Starves. I know Jay is a very big fan of Ron Goulart because he writes such tripe. And Harry Harrison, I know him. P.M. Hubbard, was that Prime Minister Hubbard? And Isaac Asimov. The Slowly Moving Finger. I think this is some sort of non-fiction rubbish by Asimov. Finished. And this one is very special, perhaps. This is the July 1953 issue, which is quite old indeed. Even older than me. And it is still in insanely good condition, considering it is older than my father. And it features a short story called Expendable by Philip K. Dick. And I think this was the first time it was published. And it has a lot of other stories. One by August Derleth and Mac Reynolds. Henry James. Robert Sheckley, Alfred Bester. Very good, and it is fine. You would think it would be in about 14,000 pieces. But it is lovely and good. So there. I think that is all the magazines. Here is a big book I I received today, called Red Dwarf Titan. It is a prequel to the BBC television show called Red Dwarf. And I got a signed one because I am rich from all the books I write. And it is not actually signed by Rob Grant because he sadly passed away before the book was released. Which is very unfortunate. But I bought it, and I may read it, because I am quite fond of Red Dwarf. I think it is based on some sort of realistic documentary show, something. Another book is Syzygy, a new novel by Frederick Poe. Why would the stream go down, Austin? Are you casting some sort of evil spell? In a sort of Jim Geldingman fashion. This book has a nice cover. Indeed! Oh, I see what you're saying, Austin, because your stream went down because you showed off a Red Dwarf video content. Like a fool! The novel only Frederick Poe could write. Obviously, because it was the one he wrote. I don't understand that at all. There's a little sticker here. Can you see it? It's from the SF Bookshop in Edinburgh. And it is, that shop's closed now, of course, because nobody likes science fiction anymore. Time, 8 seconds into the future. Scientists and psychics are predicting eruptions and earthquakes that could devastate half the Earth, caused by a rare conjunction of the planets. It's called syzygy. Hello, Goat Man 47. It is nice of you to join us so late. A ruthless land speculator decides to make a quick killing by starting a panic. Nice of him. Then others cash in on the syzygy effect for their own greed. A crackpot cult preaching doom, a politician out for votes. A quack scientist, a duck, out to make the headlines. When California is paralyzed by brush fires and flash floods, hysteria explodes. Only a dedicated scientist and a beautiful NASA astrophysicist. Who would that be? Bill Gates. I think he was in NASA. But they're up against forces that will stop at nothing to keep the truth from getting out. That's fine, Goatman. At least you did join me. In time. Another book is The Spell of Seven. Edited by Sprague de Camp. The supernatural stories of swords and sorcery. Another book for Tim. It features a skull and 2 men fighting inside a pot of soup. Very hot soup, judging by the flames there. Warrior versus wizard. This Tim versus Jim. Might fights magic. Spears clash with spells. In these 7 masterful tales of adventure and sorcery, stories of strange dooms, barbaric battles, and superhuman heroes. Oh, is it Secret Fire Books, Tim? Lucky me. It did cost me 10 whole pounds, which is a lot of money. It features these stories, if you can see them with your eyes. Ooh, a Robert E. Howard one. I think he wrote Conan the Barbarian Man. Fritz Leiber, Michael Moorcock, Lord Dunsany. Oh, yes, Lord Dunsany. A favourite among the booktube community. What has illustrations? Look at these. Big spiders wearing spacesuit helmets. I saw another one. I'm sure I saw a picture. Here is one. It's a lady lifting her skirt, I think. But yes, this is a very lovely book indeed. And the cover is nice. Of course. Another book is this book here in my hand, which is a door book by Philip Willie. The End of the Dream, featuring an introduction by John Brunner. And this says it is a special 1984 edition. But I don't know what that means. I assume it is a reference to 1984 by George Orwell. I have no idea. This was released in 1973, so that it's not like it came out in 1984. What's the deal? Anyway. Since this novel was first published, there have been many disaster bestsellers, novels of earthquakes and atomic accidents, of natural disasters and man-made plots, and things diabolic and supernatural. But this is still the only novel that is steadily coming true. Energy shortages, oil spills, droughts. Drafts are pretty bad also. Flood, Arctic winters, food shortages, and frightful new diseases. They should have called this the 2026 edition. They're all here with more to come. You, not some imaginary character, will continue to be part of the plot. It's a spectacular chiller written as his last legacy by the author of Generation of Vipers, which is a book I do not own. And it is a seat riveter that is as horrifying as tomorrow's flaming headlines. And the spine is a bit faded, but it will go into the pile nonetheless. These two I will show together. They are both The Twilight Zone, stories from The Twilight Zone, and more stories from The Twilight Zone by Rod Serling. I'll put them this way round, because this one comes first. These are very special indeed, because I say so. This book has seen better times. Oh, there's someone else's address again. Walter Hopkins, who used to live in Ohio, and according to these addresses, he now lives in Edinburgh somewhere. So you could go visit him, perhaps. This book's a bit delicate, but here it has these stories. The Mighty Casey, Escape Clause, Walking Distance, The Fever, Where Is Everybody? There was a Nine Inch Nails song called that, and The Monsters of Jew on Maple Street. I think I remember that episode. It's about people on a street. And here's another one featuring the lonely Mr. Dingle the Strong. A thing about machines. The Big Tall Wish. A stop at Willoughby. The Odyssey of Flight 33. And Dust. I don't know what any of those ones are. But I could read them and then I would know. That would make sense, would it not? Probably. Another book is this. At the top of the book, there appears to be a little blurb which says a ferocious and gruesome impact. British SF at its best. By the Sun. It is Time for a Change by J.T. McIntosh, who, if I am not mistaken, was a human author from the past. And this is about the giants. They came in the summer, the longest, hottest summer the village had ever known. Is that also this year? They wouldn't drink beer. It was grossing. What? What? They fought duels, and although people got killed, nobody got hurt. They dressed in shirts and shorts, but the clothes never got dirty or worn. They did get worn. They just said they dressed in them. And when the inferno began, the holocaust that swept the village from end to end, the giants were right in the middle of it. What? It's a science fiction book. That is all. Another book is, in fact, two books. Again! 4 great sagas of sword and sorcery. And 4 more great stories of sword and sorcery. 2 collections of short stories featuring a man, a naked man, in a loincloth. Tim, avert your eyes, or don't. Now this features some books, storybooks. I apologize, it is very hot in my room, and I ran out of my patented willy juice. unfortunately, so I'm sweating into a bucket. Anyway, Off Swordsmen and Sorcerers by Lynn Carter, which is just the introduction. Afafhud and the Grey Mouse, a story. Sadness of the Executioner by Fritz Leiber. And A Tale of the Dying Earth by Jack Evans. And it is more I own. A Fantasy of the Vikings by Paul Anderson. The Merman's Children. And finally, An Adventure of Amalric the Man-God. Man-God. I like that. An Adventure of Amalric the Man-God. The Higher Heresies of Ulimar. Very good. Indeed. I thought there were pictures in this, but I was mistaken. And the second one featuring a knight on an armoured horse. He must have bought that DLC for Oblivion. The Rug and the Bull by Sprague de Camp. The Jade Man's Eyes by Michael Moorcock. Toads of Grimmerdale by Andre Norton. Toads. Surely that would be cats of some sort. And Ghoul's Garden by John Jakes. John Jakes. I have read one John Jakes book. It was fine. Yes, fine. And here we go. It is an adventure game book. One of the Fighting Fantasy books. Hello, Charlie, I don't know. I have also not read any Andre Norton books. In fact, I think I only own one. I think it's called Breed to Come, which is a very filthy title indeed. Yes, a fighting fantasy book, Tim. It is Masks of Mayhem, a thrilling fantasy adventure in which you are the hero. That's you, not me. It has a little map inside and a lovely picture of Jim, the wizard Jim. And of course it features all of the usual things inside of the game book. Maybe I should do a live, like Brian, the other Brian, the real Brian from America, therefore worth more as a person. Another book is CV by Damon Knight, which is must be some sort of book about resumes and a man trying to find a job on some sort of ship. Now, sea venture, CV for short. That makes no sense, because the word sea begins with an S. Like the S from that other phrase. What is it? SF. Sea Venture is the largest ocean-going vessel ever built by man. It is not a ship but a huge sea habitat housing a scientific research station, an entire city of 2,000 permanent residents and 1,000 passengers. That sounds like the Enterprise from Star Trek: The Next Generation. For some, CV is a vacation dream of a lifetime. For others, a vision of man's conquest of the seas. For two men, it becomes the arena for a deadly game of cat and mouse. Far and mouse. But for one, CV is something else. A place to stalk its next victim. It is not human. It is not even of earthly origin, and to be touched by it is deadly. What importance are the hopes and dreams, fears and schemes of the people of Sea Venture when they are threatened by a force that could destroy all of human civilization? I don't know. I don't know why blurbs ask me, personally, these questions. Do they expect me to know the answer, and then relate the answers to you, the viewing audience? I assume so. I very do like this art muchly. It is almost Geigeresque in its intricacies. I want to see if it says who drew the picture. Cover art by Tony Roberts. It was Tony Roberts. A shorter version of this novel appeared in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction. Not one of the ones I bought, thankfully. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 13 more books. So, expect another 3 hours of video content. The next book here is The Void Captain's Tale by Norman Spinrad. And this is a Timescape book, but it has cheekily been vandalized with a price sticker. Anything good inside this? Nope, just lots of letters arranged in a formation that resembles words. Yes. Void Captain Genro Kane Gupta is truly the master of his craft. Is that a double entendre? Through the pleasure rooms of the Dragon Zephyr he moves with hot authority, the object of every woman's desire. I think it probably was a double entendre. But the good captain hides his secret. In the depths of the ship he has begun an affaire d'amour with a woman he never should have met. Now Genro, swashbuckler of the void, is about to plunge his passengers and crew into a nightmarish tragic comedy in limitless space. Like liminal space, but different. Completely different. The void captain's libido and a woman's transcendent appetite are short-circuiting the ship directly into the great and only, to the ultimate calamity, or the ultimate bliss. Yes, friends, it is a book about space sex. I cannot read that. My wife will send me to a void of my own. The Death Void. Hell! Another book featuring a woman's derriere. It is Timeliner by Charles Eric Maine. Yes, Goatman, I've never found money myself, but I do find some things on occasion. I found a Blockbuster membership card once, but when I went to the store they would not allow me to rent any videos because the store did not exist any longer. Bad luck all around. Now this is one of those, what is it, stubby books. A little book, a stubby book. A little stubby book. A Timeliner. His name was Hugh Macklin. He had a good life in our time with a beautiful wife and a promising career. Then, without warning, in a fraction of a second, he was shot 80 years into the future. He was out ahead of everything he knew, excavating for uranium on the moon in another man's body. Is that the man who is another man also? Here is a provocative story of tomorrow, and of a man forced to fight through future eras to return to his own world and his own identity. Tim, you're supposed to keep it inside the book. It is a memory of the book's past. Do not throw it in a bin. Hello, Jake. Jake Pulp Mortem has joined us, everyone. bow down before him and bask in his glorious shirts. Or something. Here is another book. A lovely timescape book by Clark Ashton Smith, called The Monster of the Prophecy. I do believe this is a short story collection by Clark Ashton Smith. You probably should not keep that, Austin. Someone has ticked some of these stories. I wonder what that could mean. I guess it features all of these lovely stories. I have yet to read a Clark Ashton Smith because I am a moron. Very good. And the cover is nice. It has a skull thingy on it. Tim! 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 Tim, look! It's Conan! Tim, it's Conan! Tim! It's a Conan book! It is Conan the Swordsman. Although you probably don't like these ones, because they're by these fools. But it does have a map of the place that Conan's set. It contains a lot of stories that have nothing to do with Robert E. Howard. How peculiar. Fantasy's mightiest hero launches into action in 7 sensational new sagas. From the wild and wintry borders of Asgard to exotic Iranistan, from the perilous Pictish marches to the awesomely guarded stronghold of the miser wizard Siptah, Conan the Uncomparable cuts a savage swath through a matchless world of swordplay and sorcery in his most thrilling adventures yet. Probably won't read that, but it will sit nicely in a shelf somewhere in my house. Another Roger Zelazny book here, called Bridge of Ashes. He was the ultimate man, and by his success or failure, the whole world would be judged. Is this not the plot of every Roger Zelazny book? They all seem to be about a special man. Although that's probably every book, if you think about it. He was Archimedes, Leonardo da Vinci, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and a Children of Earth terrorist all rolled into one. He was Dennis Guy's idiot child, whose mind had been suffocated and nearly obliterated by a universe of other people's thoughts. And he was Earth's last hope against an enemy that had created the human race, but would destroy it all again if Dennis, Archimedes, Leonardo, Jean-Jacques humanity guys could not meet them on their own terms and win. Bridge of Ashes. Dennis, Archimedes, Leonardo, Jean-Jacques humanity guys. One of the names I came up with, sounds like. And there is an advert for a book called The Domino Principle, which I have never heard of in my life. I think I have only read 2 Zelazny's. I have read The Dream Master, or whatever it was called, which I did not enjoy much at all. Certainly not as much as Chris from Liminal Spaces, who seemed to enjoy that book so much he won't shut up about it. And, what's the other one? The one about an immortal man. That one was good. Is it called My Immortal? The Immortal? Immortal Man. The Immortal Man from Greece. Or something. Another door book here by A.E. Van Vogt. This is called Lost 50 Sons. Do you imagine losing 50 sons? They're bloody massive. How would you lose 50 sons? Ridiculous. One Earth ship versus the entire fleet of the 50 suns. Oh, yes, I see. It's not 50 literal suns. Suppose that would not make any sense at all. This just talks about Van Vogt. This book may be part exchanged in good condition at Bobby's Bookshop, which is used to be in Edinburgh, but now it is not. Original title, The Book of Van Vogt. So it's just a short story collection then. Why have they done this? Why have they done this? Who knows? Another book here is, it's a fancy old book by Brian Aldiss called Introducing SF. That will never get old. Another anthology featuring many books. Indeed. An Aldous Budrus book story. Arthur C. Clarke, William Tenn, Frederick Brown, Brian Aldiss. Imagine putting one of your own stories in an anthology that you are editing. That is an absolutely disgusting course of events, and one which I never see or hope to see in my life again. Oh, did Jake do that? I had no idea. Ha 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 ha. Where was I? Isaac Asimov, Schuyler Miller, Arthur Sellings, Gerald W. Page, Walter M. Miller Jr., Jerome Bixby. Ooh, Jerome Bixby. And a J.G. Balladian story. Also. And a glossary. I'm going to read the glossary. Sounds very good indeed. Erdetigand. Airlock. Alien. In science fiction, an intelligent being from another world than Earth. Another term frequently used is extraterrestrial. See also entity. What's another good word? Dream coffin. Container within which sleep and dream states are artificially induced. Example of a popularly formed... What the... Example of a popularly formed nonce word. Nonce word? I assume that means nonsense word, but nonce word? Nonce word? In that while its component parts are familiar, they join to form an instantly comprehensible new concept. What's another good word? Geonivore. An earth-eater, example of a classically formed nonce word. Bloody hell. Planet. A body of considerable size revolving around a sun. Below a certain unspecified size, a planet is called a planetoid or asteroid. There are 9 planets in our solar system. Do you hear that? There are 9 planets. 9 planets in the solar system. Not 8. Not 8. Another book. Here is The Spaceborne by E.C. Tubby. And this is from the Andromeda Bookshop, and it is signed by the author. The author being E.C. Tubb. There. And I will show you that signature. You better believe it. There we go. It says Club Clement. Very good. It was a vast starship, a self-contained world, speeding through space toward a distant planet. 16 generations. A generation ship story. Its human crew had lived and died according to the builder's immutable laws. Conservation and recycling of all matter, and swift assassination arranged to look like natural death of any crew member who reached the age of 40. Oh my god. We'd all be dead. We would all be dead. It's not fake, Jake. It says there's a sticker on the front. There is a sticker meaning it is true. It is true. Where am I? Famed for his many novels. Blah blah blah. Easy tub. I've had a brain meltdown. Give me 1 second before I die. I'm back. Yes. Hello. It is me, Sir Willett Hodgson Jr. You join me here today for a book haul video. Here's another book. It is a hardbackian novel book. The 1982 Annual World's Best SF. Edited by Donald A. Walheim, who is the doorman. This does count as a door book. It says Door Books Incorporated right there. And it features... I was very surprised to find this book in the United Kingdom, for it is an American book. There we go. It features the best short stories ever written, I assume. Hence the title. Blind Spot by Jake Carr. Highliner by Seiji Cherry. The Pusher by John Varley. Polyphemus by Michael Shea. Absent Thee from Felicity Awaken by Somtau Sacharitkull. Out of the Everywhere by James Tiptree Jr., who is a lady author. Slack by Michael P. Cube McDowell. The Cipher Tone by S.C. Sykes. Through All Your Houses Wandering by Ted Reynolds. And The Last Day of Christmas by David J. Jake. Jake? It says Lake. I obviously have Jake on the mind because he has invaded my live stream and thrown accusations at me, which is very rude. Here's a book which is not a science fiction novel, but is, in fact, a novel featuring Stephen King's wife, who can also write books. This is Wolves at the Door, which I believe has some other sort of title somewhere. Or something. Am I having a fit? I don't know. In the midst of a harsh, deep snow winter, come Olivia Russell and her small son? What is he, a cat? To the country cottage he remembers as idyllic. It is a time of quiet reassessment for Liv. Her health is shaky, her husband is turning more and more to drugs. Her marriage teeters on the brink of collapse. Hello, Virgil! I cannot believe you have not been here the entire time! And you're about to leave also, but hello! Is this book about Stephen King? But peace is the last thing on the minds of 3 local hoodlums who start the reign of terror. And once started, the terror has a momentum of its own. What they haven't reckoned on is the indomitable spirit of a violated woman. Ugh. In the face of horrific evil and violence, Liv Russell finds a hard-won instinct for survival. And with it, the nightmare has just begun. This sounds like a book Sebastian Imperius, my friend, should be reading. Not I, Willie Tudgeson Jr. I only read SF books. Obviously. Speaking of SF books, here's a book by... there we go. Very good. Philip K. Dick. But this is not a science fiction book. This is one of his mainstream novels that are just about like some sort of American things. Following in Milton Lumpkey territory and Humpty Dumpty in Oakland. This is the latest and perhaps the best of the unpublished novels found among Philip K. Dick's effects. It is a compellingly real portrait of small-town California in the early 1950s, and its central character, Mary Ann Reynolds, is among the most convincing Dick ever created. Its treatment of racial and sexual issues is startling for a book written more than 30 years ago, and still today has the power to stop the reader short. There are tough, vivid portrayals throughout. The narrative voice is clear and sensitive, forcing sympathies in unlikely places. It is becoming increasingly clear that Dick is one of the most compelling chroniclers of life and love in the 1950s California that we have had. Then it says, please turn to back flap. It's just a picture. There he was. The man himself, Philip K. Dick. Another book. These are being spoiled up here. Here we go. The Expansion Project by Ben Pester, which is a book I have already read. As little as you may think of me, I did read a book, and it was all right. It was good-ish. It was interesting, and it is nice looking, I think. And here we go. It is the final book of the book haul. Here we go. Now this is another Sebastian Imperius sort of book here by my good friend Mark Morris. Or it could be, is it Sebastian Imperius' friend? Could be Brian's friend. Could be just some guy. It is called Bad Things Happen Here. 20 years ago, this is hard to read because it's so shiny. 20 years ago, 6 students are beset by supernatural forces centered around a fifth floor room in an otherwise innocuous residence hall. Forces so terrifying that one of the 6 commits suicide. That sounds like It by Stephen King. Today, the remaining friends are drawn back together when their lives begin to fall apart. That sounds like Stephen King's It. As the visions, the violence, and the madness escalate, they must once again confront the horror. That sounds like It by Stephen King. They must once again confront the horror in room 516. Very good indeed. Probably. Mark Morris is very good at writing books, so I expect it is not actually like some sort of it ripoff. But it will be good indeed. I apologize for your ears, which have now been erased from existence by me shouting. That's the book haul. Should I touch this thing? I'm sure it will be fine if I move it slightly. Let me use a book to move it, just in case something happens. Thank you for joining me today. I can stay for a moment if any of you wish to ask me a question or two. Otherwise, I will adieu. I will bid you adieu. And I will sit here and just look at all these piles of books. This one does him, yes. But none of the other ones. I cannot demonstrate it, though. Actually, it shoots these things. Yes, I'm going to Wizfest. Everyone should know of Wizfest. I will be meeting up with Goat, Frenzy, Shuffle Boil, Wizard John, Wizard John, John Geldingman, Jim Geldingman. One of those things. The chap with the long hair and the white beard. But not Chris from Liminal Spaces. He is a different man with long hair and white beard. Yes, Goatman. They will be piled up on the floor along with 1,000 other books, which I intend to read. Possibly. Goodbye! We're all going to Wizfest.